The Ides of March.
Hello? Mom? Mom, are you there? Oh, Charity, sweetie, you know it's the middle of the day. I have work. Why are you calling so early?
Mom, come quick. There's this guy. He's carrying.
Look, Jones, I would love to have you on this case. You're one of my best detectives, but it's a conflict of interest. Your daughter was there. We can't have you being biased.
I won't cut in. Just observe. I just need to know what happened.
Fine. Stay behind the mirror, and if I hear one peep out of you, you're out.
Thank you.
Tial Barneville? Quite a unique name around these parts.
I'm not from these parts.
That's right. It says you're a transfer student. Where'd you transfer from?
France.
No specific part of France? Just the entire country?
I get around.
Listen, kid. If you drop the prickly attitude and cooperate, this will go by much faster.
Listen, officer. I've answered and filled out every single form you've thrown my way. I even drank the coffee you gave, despite the fact that I don't even drink coffee. Just because I haven't been answering the way you wanted me to, doesn't mean I haven't been cooperating. I've been here for hours and you've only just gotten around to interviewing me. Excuse me if I'm a bit prickly.
Got quite a mouth on you now, huh?
I talk when I want to.
You're gonna have to.
I will when you start treating me the way you ought to.
Stop! Calm down.
It's not my fault she's been harassing me into talking.
This is an official investigation. We need answers.
Tial, can I call you Tial?
Sure.
Tial, this is a very serious matter.
I'm aware. You don't think I know this? I'm perfectly aware. I know more than you two do. I know the names and faces of each person in the room that day. I know what their blood looked like on the floor of that classroom. The blank stares on their lifeless faces. The scared, trembling shoulders of the ones who weren't dead. The man holding the gun. I know all of it. My best friend is dead.
We're trying to make sure no one else dies.
It's a little too late, don't you think? They were kids. I was a kid.
My daughter is a kid. It says here on your file that you're 17. My daughter is 2 years younger than you. She was there that day. She called me. She didn't even get to finish her sentence before the call ended to the sound of gunfire. I understand that you had people you cared for die that day, but we all have people we care for, and right now, you're one of the only people around that can make sure that this will never happen again. That people will never lose their daughters, their brothers, their sisters, their sons, their friends again. Help us, please.
Okay.
You're not going to skip with me?
I have to get a 4.0 GPA this year, Tial.
It's one period.
It's a major subject.
So?
It'll be a major impact on our grades.
So?
We've had this conversation before. And I don't really have enough time to have it again. I'm going to be late. Don't get caught. The front door's locked in 10.
I'm aware.
Go before someone sees.
The janitor usually turns to that hallway after the others.
AP students aren't usually the most mischievous bunch, so they locked the AP class hall doors the last. Still, I should have known something was wrong when I came back to the front door still unlocked.
At what time did you re-enter the school?
Exactly 1:20 in the afternoon,
And when did you leave?
around 12:10 p.m.
So the janitor had a full 50 minutes to lock the doors and he didn't manage to?
Or he did and it was unlocked later on.
The lock showed no signs of being tampered with.
Well, if you would listen, I think you'll understand why I think it didn't have to be tampered with. There was no one else in the hall. The reason why I even decided to come back specifically at 1:20 was because that's when third period ends. The halls would be too crowded for anyone to notice a single student making their way through the crowd. I should have realized then. I made my way to the cafeteria to have my lunch period, one that I shared with at least 40 other people. Still, the room was practically deserted. Even the lunch staff weren't in their stations. Hello? I didn't know what else to do. I roamed the halls and it was like a horror movie. Lockers were left open, bags thrown against the walls, books scattered around the floor, like everyone had left so hurriedly that couldn't even bother to keep their stuff. It was stupid. I used impulse for action, reaction like courage. I ran to the sound. I wasn't thinking.
Tial, dear God, late as always.
Logan, what are you doing? I don't remember counting at the time, but I can remember so clearly now. There were at least 3 dead, 4 injured.
You're just going to stand there, new kid?
What are you doing, Elle?
You were close?
On superficial terms.
I'm saving all of us.
By killing us?
Brutus' plan worked.
Killing Caesar, not the Empire.
No, he killed the faults of the Empire.
You're disgusting. This is horrible.
I'm a hero. This is beautiful. It doesn't matter.
What?
We did it. A dish fit for the gods.
A quote, Brutus about killing Caesar.
Does it matter where it's from? He said we. He wasn't alone.
Interview every witness, person of interest, and staff member that has a pair of keys for that door.
And?
Get me the damn accomplice!
It says here that you had a rather close relationship with Mr. Geary.
Oh, that boy? Well, yes, I am the PTA head, and he was one of my best volunteers.
Multiple witnesses say that he was always at the meetings before anyone else, before even you.
Well, yes, he's been coming in early to nearly all the meetings since the beginning.
So you gave him your keys?
I gave him copies of them.
Because he was always early. Yes, we've established that. What I want to know is why you gave the keys to the front door.
Well, it only seemed reasonable.
But he would have to already have been in school. All your meetings took place after classes, correct?
That boy had a penchant for running off during his classes. He needed some way to get in.
I'm sorry, I must be mistaken. You confirmed a while ago that you were PTA president?
Yes.
But you were condoning a student cutting classes?
Of course not.
Well, you just said that you were giving him keys so that it would be easier for him to get away with cutting classes.
Well, I never.
Miss Forrester, you're starting to seem a little guilty. Hey, are you arresting me? This ain't fair. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. It wasn't a question. There wasn't a hint of a doubt in my mind that Janine Foster had been the accomplice. No one else had been so convincing. Still, it didn't sit right with me the way my daughter had acted during the interview, like she had something to hide. I knew she and Logan had been quite close, but I would never imagine that she'd be involved. And yet, I wanted to know how close. Hey, sweetheart.
Oh, hey, Mom.
She was fiddling with something on the counter, something in a pipe that had a peculiar-looking timer attached to the front. It struck me then that she had never been that interested in mechanical engineering, and while she'd had a few work classes on the subject, she'd never been quite this invested. But she'd been going at this one for a few days now. What's that you're working on?
Oh, this? Just a little something for school.
It didn't look like anything she'd ever worked on for school before, but I was desperate. I didn't want to acknowledge what it looked like. I grasped at straws. And a book?
Don't recognize it? It's Shakespeare's Julius Caesar.
I did recognize it. I recognized every single part of it, from the man on the cover to the red of the page, the laurel wreath on his head to the red of his toga, the dog-eared edges of the pages, and the silver key every single police officer in town had been hunting down that was being used as a bookmark. And it suddenly hit me, so hard that the breath left my lungs. Tomorrow was the Ides of March.